What's up, guys? This is Jim from the BingetownTV podcast, and today I want to dive into FX and Hulu's amazing limited series, Shogun. The series finale recently aired, and if you're anything like me, I have a little bit of a tough time letting shows I love go. Whenever I'm in the middle of a binge watch or when the show sadly ends, I go pretty deep into any supplemental content I can to keep that magic alive. Theories, facts, trivias, recommendations, you name it, and I will go all in. When researching Shogun, I found some pretty awesome and wild facts that I want to share with you guys. So without further ado, here are 7 facts about Shogun that you probably didn't know. All right, let's start off hot here with an absolutely wild fact. We all know the saying Rome wasn't built in a day, but apparently neither was Shogun. One of the craziest facts about Shogun is that it took almost 11 years to finally hit our screens, and there were many times within that time frame that the show almost didn't make it at all. Can you imagine not being able to watch this awesome show? Shogun went through years and years of failed efforts to get into production, and it took the signing of husband and wife showrunners Justin Marks and Rachel Kondo to finally get some movement in the right direction. But this unfortunately did not put the turbo boosters on getting Shogun greenlit and released, and it still took another 5 years to complete. The production took so long for Justin and Rachel that they actually had 2 children while creating the show. Mariko and Fuji were 2 of my favorite characters in Shogun. And in our podcast coverage, our 3 hosts have them both firmly in our top 5 characters. Now, I'm sure you don't need to hear this fact to know that they are badasses, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Per IMDb, the wives of the samurai were trained to protect the home and village when the samurai warriors were away at battle. Fans of the show will, of course, know that both Mariko and Fuji are the wives of samurai, so it is very cool to know that they are legitimately trained badasses. As a small part 2 to this fact, the wife of a samurai would receive a small tanto called a kaiken, excuse the pronunciation, a small dagger as a wedding gift, which I would assume is the dagger we see Mariko pull out a few times in the show. Hiroyuki Sanada is an absolute legend, and this is almost definitely not the first time you're watching him on your screen. Knowing how awesome he is, you probably aren't surprised at all when I tell you that he performed all of his own stunts for Shogun. But what might surprise you a little is that he performed his own stunts at 63 years old. Everyone who's caught up on the show knows that we never did get to see that major battle that many of us were expecting, but there were still plenty of scenes in the show that I personally would have asked for a stunt double just to be safe. But of course, Sanada did everything on his own. Tommy Bastow, who played Father Martin, learned to speak Japanese specifically for this role. Not being very familiar with the actor, I had to look him up to see if he had any background with the language. According to an interview, he studied with a tutor to prepare for his role and even decided to study 8 hours a day when he thought that there was improvement to be made when he started conversing with people that weren't his tutors. Major props to Tommy for having such a passion for this role. It was easily seen when watching him as Father Martin. Not that I'm an expert at all in the Japanese language, but he seemed pretty comfortable and fluent in the language to me. Did you know that Cosmo Jarvis, the actor who played John Blackthorne, is also a musician? Personally, I recognized Cosmo pretty quickly when he debuted as John Blackthorne because of his role as Barney in Peaky Blinders, but I had no idea he was also a musician. This very talented actor is also a singer and has released 5 albums. It seems that he's focusing on his acting career for the time being, but if you're a fan of his, you can always check out some of his old music. Speaking of music, another cool fact that I found was that Anna Sawai, who played Lady Mariko, was a part of 2 girl pop groups before Shogun. The first group was short-lived, but the second group featured Sawai as a lead singer, and she was a part of the group from 2013 to 2018. In 2018, she announced her departure from the group so that she could focus on her acting career, and I think I can speak for everyone when I say I'm very grateful that she made this decision because she was the perfect Lady Mariko. Now let's finish this video up strong by giving Shogun its flowers. 11 years in the making, and all of the hard work was worth it because the Shogun series apparently managed to break the record with 9 million viewers in its premiere episode based on the first 6 days of the broadcast. With this achievement, the Shogun series has become the #1 scripted series premiere on FX and Hulu, beating some of their juggernaut shows like The Bear and Fargo. All right, guys, that's it for today. I hope you all enjoyed Shogun as much as I did, and I hope this video was able to give you a little extra supplemental content to keep that Shogun magic alive. If you're looking for some more Shogun content, feel free to check out our podcast, Bingetown TV, where we covered this series in its entirety. And if you'd like to chat with some fellow Shogun fans, our podcast has a Discord community where we talk about TV shows and movies, and we'd love to have you. I'll leave the links in the description. All right, until next time, guys.